Good morning, everybody. You got Lady Hippy at the bar here. Just to start this out early enough, there is a point to make, which is this is only done for entertainment purposes. Yeah, I'm still going to be here all week. You just can't get past that, right? Me either. I haven't had a chance to look at anything. I'm trying to see if you don't see me too close or close enough. I never can tell. I pushed the mic in a little closer because I'm one of them. I was fading in and out quite a bit, so I'm hoping I'm not jarring today. And yes, I've got live chat up and see if anybody wants to take a bite of that bait. Somebody told me not long ago, it's Sunday. Who do you think's up? And I'm like, well, I've been doing it since 5. What time do you have to be at church? It's blooming 10:30. Surely they've been to church by now. Way back when I used to go, you were there before 8. Sister didn't like that much. She had to get up for school, so Sunday was sleeping day. Plus, she got tired of being thrown out of church because of me. That's a cute story. I thought it would be rude, and I apologize ahead of time. I have some extremely good and warm coffee. It's not hot enough to burn me, which means it'll be cold in about 3 minutes. I don't know what the deal is, but you just can't keep your coffee hot or hot chocolate, whatever you're having. I made my golden milk last night, and I slept golden, all right. Got up, and my right side wouldn't move, and my left side said, don't even try. Finally, after a beating shower, I was able to move the right side. The left side, not really doing so good. Got to go to the store again. Yay! That would be exciting if it like you used to be. We could go to the big store, as I call it, the big Walmart, which is my husband's location. He won't go to the little one unless he's taking me. So I'm like, this is good. We can do this. Finally stopped raining. I get up here and I fidget every time. I don't know what it is, but necklaces don't hang right and so forth and so on. Be like when I went to get tests done, they said, you can keep the little necklace. You got to get rid of the bigger one. Well, if the little one's okay but we'll go with that, no problem. And then I go the wrong way trying to straighten it, and you don't want to pull on them because you don't break it. And so it's just going to have to stay this way, apparently. I've tried looking in over this. I have, of course, the bar mirror on the other side. I was thinking about that, too. I don't get too much feedback, so I'm wondering if I could find out if I change the angle and just did do it from the bar. Thank you. Excuse me, by the way. It does look like it's trying to be in one place. Let's see where it's going to end up. So I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about switching it around, and then you would see just me behind the bar a little bit. We're trying to get things out. We still have boxes in the living room. He's doing a lovely blue carpet I picked, but he got it when I picked it, and that's going to be coming down the stairs. Instead of staining just the wood, it's going to have a little like riser going through it. And I can't wait till those are finished. Again, we still have not done the bedrooms. I still don't have my studio ready. You would not believe what you can accumulate in 10 years. Throw away 3 rooms at a time. I mean, we literally furnished friends' homes 3 times when we moved here. I couldn't keep all of it. Not TVs. We just couldn't keep it all here. We have the same amount of bedrooms and actually the same amount of baths. It's the square footage that changed quite a lot. And I was good with that and had to clean so much. Yesterday, Robert was out doing errands because it was raining. He knows I don't like to go in the rain. And he brought me cookies and a Frosty, which was awesome. I love their cookies and Frosty. So, he went and did all that yesterday. So it's supposed to be nicer today. It's supposed to go up into the 70s. I think they said 71, but why quibble? So I'm going to pop out and about which means I'm going to go 2 miles down, get a couple of things on my post-it note, and then turn around and come back 2 miles. Mm. They're saying that the IDF, and apparently they did, why, I don't know, fire volleys into the air at the aid truck that the Gazans were about to, I don't know, steal from. It's their food. I know they were attacking Hamas. I didn't see the Israelis fire. And one was killed, and I think 13 were injured. I've heard 11, and I've heard 9. So it may be a smaller number. Pray God. Amen. So that was the news I got yesterday when I got off. And then, of course, it was time to jumpstart, life. Once he's going to the store, that means that I have to make the list, get everything ready. And technically, he's cooking most of the time. I'm not a cook. And he hasn't been home out of this 30. This drives me crazy. Out of 34 years, he really hasn't been here much. Just his days off. And even then, generally, when he was, it's just going to have to stay there. I give up. So, I'm glad he's at home. Like yesterday, it was so ugly out. I didn't even really want to go out and do all that, but it did start to clear up. So he ran and did all that. So it just left me with some groceries down here at my little Walmart. And even I'm almost tired of my little Walmart because it's like Cheers. I walk in, it's, "Hey, Wanda." I'm like, oh, God. People be looking at you like, "What they know you for? You work here?" I actually had 2 people thought I worked there, except I didn't have the penny on, whatever they call that vest. We called them pennies when I was growing up. That's what Mom would use for housekeeping. I always saw her in a penny. In my head, I only saw her one time dressed up, and that was an amazing change. She looked like she just stepped out of a 1950s magazine. She looked beautiful. And I mean, dressed to the hilt, the way women used to do. They wore a hat, they wore a hose, they wore nice shoes, they wore a suit or a lovely gown when they were going out. They were okay in a penny. Of course, Mom didn't go out much. That's the time I saw her when she went to school. She pretty much told them if she found out they touched her daughter after they got out of jail, she was going to kick their butts. So my mom didn't swear. She was not. There was a mean bone in that woman's body. I never got bothered again. But she's good. Mm. This year is, of course, whizzing by. Here it is. I actually got this one. I thought, okay, what do I got to do? I looked at my calendar, like I'm that busy. So the whole thing for the month, is to go on air. So feel sorry for me. Please throw some likes in there. I know somebody could say this. Let's do the social Woodstock. Nobody believes me when I say that we could do a social Woodstock. Why can't we? We can talk about anything, everything, who, what, when, where, why, and how. Jump in here. I need the help. I'm not going to keep doing it if it's not for you guys. I thought we hippies or baby boomers, whichever you prefer. I like hippie. And now I'm a publisher, published my own book. Um, Ran whole divisions. I'm a veteran, Army veteran, civil service veteran. I'm retired now, which everybody's breathing a sigh of relief over. My husband, not so much, because again, even though he was retired during the pandemic, he went back to work to make sure people could get their products, and that's it. He went for the #1 truck company. They fought over him, but he's no spring chicken. He too has a few things that we both medically have to take care of ourselves on suddenly. So not liking that too much. I know he don't. He don't like taking aspirin. Me, I get used to it. So and I deteriorate a little bit, each year, as most of us do at this time. And so I said, okay. So now they're shooting at helpless Gazans, just like the terrorists are shooting at the helpless Gazans. At what point do you go, Nobody should be shouting people who are hungry driving themselves forward to get food, which is sitting there in a semi. 100 semis. Where is the UN? Where's NATO? Where's all these people? I mean, where's Doctors Without Borders? Where's somebody? Why doesn't Iran, Turkey, Iraq, Syria, Egypt, somebody do something to help these people? Now, the IDF can only do so much. They couldn't continue to take the losses that they took on October 7th. And we wouldn't have either, as is evident by 9/11. And if you take the square footage that's involved and the amount of people that Israelis, how many people are in that section? Period. All of Israel that they won in the 63 war, which is including Jerusalem. They won that 63. 6 countries attacked it. It's called the 6-Day War. I love my soldiers. But I don't like the fact that I heard over 600 have given their lives already. This is only the say. Well, we're coming up on, I think, believe about 5 months. That's a long time. And they still don't have the rest of the hostages, although they've been able to recover some of their bodies. These people were so evil, and they are so evil, that if, and I say this because I'm not a psychic, I just follow current events to the best of my ability. But I do say this as a warning. If they stop this war, if they do not take Hamas out completely, like you don't hear about ISIS anymore, which was for probably what we were doing. Can't say. They'll tell us a lot. Just to pay the taxes. We wouldn't have taken it for a second. And the square footage per person is involved and shot and killed and mutilated and so forth and so on. It would be like 1 to 2 of every one of us, say, and make it maybe even a smaller one, like, say, the Valley. So whole families were wiped out completely, from the grandparents to the parents to the children. They didn't make no bones about that. I saw one man that was a retired IDF, Israeli Defense Force is what that means. And I prefer just to say IDF. I thought everybody knew what that meant, but they're still hurling, things at the IDF. It doesn't look good if they shot the civilians trying to get to the trucks. Can't figure that out, but I'm assuming I'll hear more about that. But there's no way you could stop us on 9/11, and per square footage, they had more deaths than we did, and that's including the Pentagon plane and the plane that went down in Philadelphia. It's all of the deaths between the towers and so forth. But per landmass and so forth, it's about on a par with 9/11. Remember now, 9/11, everybody thinks too. They never even point out the Pentagon. I don't hear them ring a bell on their name, but they might. I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard anything more about the plane that went down when they said, let's roll, and they were going to take the cockpit. And well, it wasn't long before they hit the ground. I don't hear that spoken of very much. But my point being, they told us that we couldn't go to war. That'd be your UN, your NATO, which we pay more than any other country. If you combine them, I think we still pay more than all of them combined. We won't get started on who, that Chinese virus. I know they hate to hear that. So, in any event, this is what these people have been dealing with. They have bomb shelters in their house, in their houses. Because some of them are right up on the Lebanese border. Some of them are they're really close to all these people that hate them. Pretty much they could just hurl rocks at them. But now the Iranians have decided to do maybe a nuclear program aimed at them instead. For God's sakes, I don't know what it takes for God to forgive these people or us or what this is about. But I know that there is one thing they sort of kept in the history books. Of course, they covered Hitler's pogroms because he killed literally 6 million of just the Jewish nation alone. Nobody is covering the fact that there are still 12 tribes that are missing, that apparently in prophecy they will bring back to Jerusalem before the shit hits the fan. Also, if you read that carefully, folks, it tells you that when this starts, for you to go to the mountains and get the hell out of Jerusalem. Now we got 3 days of darkness. This was in the Bible code as well. The 3 days of darkness are in April, and I think they're the 6th, 7th, and 8th, but check me on that. Or if anyone's interested, I'll throw a bone in there. Yeah, everybody knows how to do Google. I could drop other things in here if that's what y'all want to see. I can drop paranormal. I can drop Senate hearings, and I can drop dirty DAs. And yeah, but it still feels to me like that's just not an open forum. An open forum is anything and everything, just like it says in the description. So yes, again, we wouldn't have attacked. You think after October 7th if it was us? Well, if you hadn't, I know a whole hell of a lot of veterans who would have. And right now, this is happening in our country along that southern border. They're killing people. They're stealing their stuff. They're killing people. Yeah, I'm going to revisit that. They're killing people and livestock and so forth and so on. The Missouri governor has now stepped in and activated his government, or National Guard anyway. This is ridiculous. It's absolutely beyond the pale. It's like when Katrina hit and Bush was still playing golf and they showed up almost a week later. What the hell? That's their job. They got one job. One. They go in, they train a few weeks once a year, and they get paid every month while they're working in the civilian quarters. But that's their job. That's what they're supposed to be doing. For natural disasters, mayhap a war. Read it. Hold it up on Google and read it. It's more than time to stand by your governors, and this is driving me crazy. Stand by your governors, stand by everybody who's trying to defend this border. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I don't get none of the money back that I paid for 40 years, odd years or more, as unemployment. Never got a penny. Never asked for a penny of that. I think I should get that blooming back. It's my money. But we're not going to get that. The Boston Tea Party over taxes, my fanny. No, that had nothing to do with taxes. Really, I think they think we're all just that stupid. No, that war too was only, it's the war of attrition. We're going to get you guys. And they had the Indians helping them, or as we say now, Native Americans. Funny how Columbus discovered those suckers, and people still don't get the Thanksgiving. You're participating in a meal that the Native Americans gave to the first pilgrims because they were dying of starvation. So they brought the food. They showed them how to do the food, how to make all this stuff, or they wouldn't have made it through the first one. Then we go out and we slaughter them. About what was that? A couple hundred years. And I mean, The Last of the Mohicans is not a movie. It is a movie, but it's a real movie. Really happened. They don't even know how many they completely committed genocide against. The mounds of buffalo just rotting because they knew the Native Americans used that to make their homes, their clothing. They apologized and begged God forgiveness for taking their life, and they used every bit of it. They didn't just throw it away. They used it. This was wholesale slaughter on a par that is almost hard to accept unless you're looking at World War II rails. Now, I know that, and I'm an old lady, think I'm wearing well, but I remember, and my adopted father, was a World War II naval man. So was his brother. They lost two in the war, two brothers. We said no more, this far and no further. The UN and NATO were created so that the allies would be saying, if you get one of us, you just attack one of us, the rest of us will be coming right behind. We're looking for you. Has that ever occurred since they put these organizations together, hand? No. Well, they did go to Bosnia and Herzegovina with rubber bullets by the women's concentration camps. Don't get me started on that one either. It's like Katrina. They show up a week later and throw it out some water. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Don't you know I would have been so kind of man, I've been beating him to death with a bottle of water. The terrible thing to me about that one is that many died, and had Johnny on the spot been done it with his golf, they could have been there in less than 24 hours, and a lot more people would have lived. It wasn't just the way, the wind, things crashing, the flooding. That wasn't it. That wasn't just it anyway. It was what happened afterwards. That's what happened. People shot him, took the shit. That's what happens. There's footage and everything of Israel. People need to look at it. They need to look and say, okay, if that was me, that's my kid that they're preparing to put in the oven to burn alive. How would you feel? What if it's not a lie? What if it's true? What if? Did anybody out there do their due diligence and go find out if all this footage was real? Did they go out and find out if the Palestinian people knew where these tunnels were? Did they get up and look and see, hey, these guys were hiding the terrorists? Look, they're dressing this one as a female, running them through the hospital with RPGs. Y'all didn't know that? Get up and look at the news or pick it up on YouTube or however your phone, I don't care. But look at the truth. And don't just look at one side, make up your own opinions about what you're thinking. But what you're thinking is being told to you, it's not being found by you. You are not looking for it. They are doing propaganda. And that should just be enough of an anger for me, it would, to get my buns up and find out what's really going on. Now, you're not going to find that out on an American political news channel. I'm just saying, Trump might have took this state. That's what's on all day. All day. All of them. You want to find out? Stop there. You want to find out what's going on? Go to the German news. Go to the ILTV, which is Israeli news. There's several. You really got to start this morning, don't you? Get down. Go there. Boy, she's getting big. Good girl. She's at least staying where I put her nowadays. If she doesn't want to shower this morning. Felt pretty good to me. And she's back. Oh, she wants to stay in the chair. We give them a lot of leeway. We do. But politics aside, and again, I hope everybody stays informed on their own. They don't just take my word for it. Not to mention, I'm up here for entertainment purposes only. I have the worst time with my earphones. I have a little head. And so one of the reasons I wear the headband is to try to keep them where they belong and not down on my chin. So bear with me. I've asked everybody for their likes, their opinions, throw out the comments, throw out the live chat, anything you want to talk about. I might end up just changing the format a little bit. I've been looking into dropping some videos. I had hoped, if I was going to drop them, I had hoped that I got enough feedback to see what everybody wanted to look at. But I also thought that maybe, just maybe, there is a lot of us baby boomer / hippies out there that we once said, stick it to the man. But then we had to go and be grown-ups and do everything else. Well, now we're retired, most of us. And this is a good forum to just talk. I can't see you. You can see me, but I can't see you. I don't know you from Adam. I'd just be appreciative as heck if y'all would just throw something in there. Hi, I'm from such and such country, or I'm from this state. That would be fun. Put your states in. I would like to see how far this is going. I know it's going Germany, Italy, and India. I have friends there that are picking it up. But guys, I don't have 1 million friends. I don't have 1,000 friends because I didn't realize I was actually going to do this. I wanted to do this for a couple of years and I didn't really think I could do it. Turns out I'm not so bad. But I'm not getting a lot of interaction. Again, I chose this morning because I had a whole lot of things to do. Don't want to, got to anyway. Had to put my big girl pants on. There's been, like I said, a few friends, a few Facebook friends that have gone on and liked a few subscriptions. I can't tell you how much you guys, I so appreciate that. Again, I apologize for the fact that I'm very new to this. And so this may be the worst part of it, we hope, since nobody's seen these. But I do want to get some feedback before I make a decision to change the channel a bit, or at least the description, which would for me probably be the paranormal because I'm fascinated with it and I've investigated it well for over 50 years. Back when it was Ed Lorraine Warren and me. I mean, that was it. And they actually had, sometimes they would go into the schools and they would show people what they could do, what they found, and that it really was real. But now with today's stuff, we know it's real. It's in the kitchen. We're filming that puppy. The ones that make me crazy are the ones that are filming their baby's monitors, going, "What's that? What's that? It's got red eyes. Look, this it's a hand reaching in with smoky things like drifting off." They're filming this on the baby monitor. Are you kidding me? I'd have been in there so fast the flash would have been slow. And my kid wouldn't have come out of that room. He would have been out of the house with me driving him somewhere to his baby somewhere. There, I wouldn't have let my kid spend another second in there. I'd be coming back with boxes, some holy water, and a match. I've seen some horrific things myself, which started me on the path to this. And I can tell you with every fiber of my being, without a shadow of a doubt, evil's real. It's more than real. It's prevalent now. Kids are killing their parents, parents are killing their kids, and their kids are 3. I don't. I mean, they're killing people they don't know. They're killing people in church. Volcanoes are going off. Iceland is falling apart. You know, Then we had the flooding in Dubai. Mecca got the crap slammed out of it, which was something to see. Then the locust came. Just so that's biblical. There's no other way to describe it. I mean, I could not believe what I was actually seeing, and it was live, which is something we couldn't have even 20 years ago. Might be every once in a while, but not really. Now everything's live, everything, and everybody can put it up live, just like me. They use their phones. I'm not buying $2,000 phone. I only use mine as a phone. When I grew up, you had to run to catch the phone, depending on what order you were in the pecking order. And now my bedroom was upstairs, and there would be mom, dad, my brother, and my sister racing to see who got the phone first. I never won that race. I mean, but that was our phone. Had to run. We were happy we had a phone. We were poor people, so having a phone was a luxury. And I kept begging them. I wanted go-go boots for Christmas. I'll never forget those in the 60s, the little white go-go boots. And they got them. And they got them for the sister, so she couldn't get jealous. She stayed that way. Weird child. Um, just, true to truth. So I was really surprised when I got a princess pink touch tone phone. You had to push the buttons. Oh, that was so new. It was just so cool. It was only me and my best friend a house over that had the princess phones where you could touch it up. We were just on top of them. I mean, it was something. And mind you, that was when we were teenagers. And we didn't get a different type phone until you could use the one that was charged and you could go 100 feet away. And Robert got me one of those right away. I love that thing. I'd be out in the yard going, "Can you still hear me?" That's the only one I talked to on there. And still we carried cell phones since the era, 1990. I loved my little flip, my little racer flip. I love that. I still have mine. You can turn them on. And then maybe I can get the pictures out. I haven't settled down enough to do that. Our poor hot house in the back is still buried under stuff, and Robert just doesn't have time to do it all. And when he does, like I said, it's cold and wet like yesterday. I'm going to throw some boots on and my new coat, dash off and get a few things. And the cute thing is we'll go, what do we need from the store? I don't know. What do you think? It's like asking who's going to have breakfast. Mm. The other reason my coffee managed to stay hot, I keep a creamer in the powder form as a backup because sometimes they're out of the liquid. And I really like my coffee with French cream, French vanilla. So I said, I keep this as a backup. And then I learned that, hmm, this doesn't get cold as fast. Well, of course it doesn't. It's not sitting in the refrigerator and then you pour it into your hot coffee. Nor does coffee get hot here. I don't know. We dropped maybe 2 or 3 drops of water fell on the little heating implement at the bottom. You should see the mold that grew on all these pots, and I mean all these coffee pots. And we kept getting rid of our coffee pot because it wouldn't, it was terrible looking, and we couldn't get it. You can't get it off. That was sit there something with anything. Oh man, I couldn't get it off. So it's time for a new coffee pot. It's time for a new coffee pot. And you can't put your own water in there because even boiling won't take that stuff out. And you're like, geez Louise. The fluoride threw me, and I decided there was a reason I didn't like the water. I know what fluoride is, and I know how many people it can kill. A single drop, how many it can kill. It's just lethal. And yet we're accumulating this in our bodies, and we're always going, why are we sick? Well, if we're sick by the time we're 60, we're certainly not going to get most of that money back that they took our entire lives. The unemployment, you're not getting that back. The insurance that they make you pay when you buy a house, you're not getting that back. The insurance they make you pay to drive your car, you don't get that back. You ain't had a ticket in 35 years. You're not getting that back. No, 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 no. Even though they have 15 times the amount to replace your car already, it is with different companies because you will fish around going, okay, my wife drives 50 miles a year, maybe. But, because they say on their commercials, if you drive less than this amount of mileage, we can lower the coverage. And I'm like, but we are in also a city that hosts the Masters. And their excuse, you gotta love these people. Their excuse is because, well, we don't want to take a chance on people from out of town hitting you and dissolving your car, more or less. So I guess we pay those taxes just in case the Masters golfers hit us. I thought they had a lot of money. They all stay downtown. I ain't seen none of them lost yet. They did come up with a new law for the Masters, which was interesting. You have to use the ticket you buy. If not, they will have a big steep fine for you. So no more scalping tickets. And there's a limit on how many you can get. So instead of 50, and you would have sold all but one, uh, you can get however big your family is. Apparently, they've got a little list. I don't know, but that's the new deal with the Masters. You can't just, they're selling their houses for while the Masters are here anyway. So it's like 14 grand for a week's worth of Masters. Yeah, I mean, you just gotta love that. Me, I can't. I can't barely get around in here myself. I wouldn't want to put one of them through it. But these are nice homes, and the people will live in them for about 10 months. And then they spend a month cleaning, and then they rent it out for Masters. And then they go back. Well, I couldn't do that. That's annoying. It's just annoying. So they're all rather plain homes with nice things. There's nothing on the walls. There's no pictures, although mine are the same at the moment. I keep saying, I'm going to do that this weekend. It's Sunday. I haven't done it. It's just at 60, it really is, and I didn't realize it, but it's hard to get up and actually do something because at 60 something, and I'm in the middle, and Robert's on the end, it turns out there is a big difference. Again, I hear those little voices in my head kind of thing, go ahead, try it. We want to see how bad this hurts. Go ahead. Egging you on, knowing you go mess up. I have fallen down the stairs 3 times. Broke my collarbone on one. Well, fractured it. Thank heavens, it wasn't that bad. But 3 times, and it's almost like somebody shoved me. It's out of the blue. but it's right after, and I'll take my hand off the railing for some reason. But every time I take my hand off there, I go flying. And so I've learned I have to take my hand off because I can't figure out why it happens. Um, or any particular area of the stairs. It could be 3 stairs from the top. It could be in the middle, but no lower it seems in the middle because I'm flying before I hit the door. I mean, it's just, yeah. So yeah, and then I realized, when we do things like that, you don't recover very quick. It could take a couple of weeks for a bruise to go away. So I have never understood that. Oh, I have to live to be 500 years old. Thing, you nuts? You gotta no. For one thing, look at the world. How where would they put us? I mean, and that strikes on the southern border, which again I mentioned Missouri was in there too now. The governor has signed his. It's beyond belief. Now I don't know who's working Biden, but Biden is not running the White House. And Giggles certainly isn't. I do not know what they put in that girl's coffee, but I mean, she is the giggle queen. I don't care what you ask her. If you ask her if it's sunny outside, she gonna giggle. She can't answer, but she'll giggle at you. I still would have loved to have seen Hillary's face. I do not like her, and we won't get into why. They'll probably pull it anyway because I mentioned politics. Good grief. And I get those little thingies, send so and so money for so and so. You're like, yeah, right. You send me some money? I ain't sending none back, but you send me some money. You took my money. You got my money. You got all our money. The DA's been going to the Bahamas on said money. We don't get to say, hey, that broad shouldn't have been nowhere near nothing. What is her salary? She did anyway. It looks to me as if she's going to win because they've shown that the cell phone records said he was there. Showed it that he could there at 9 or 10, leave it at 3 or 4, go back to the wife. And after he found out what he was going to get paid, which was nearly $1 million, he did, of course, divorce the wife before she found out he had $1 million. You just cannot make this up. He actually looked up when one of them asked a question. He just sat there and looked up for almost a minute. It was like 30 seconds. Stood still and looked straight out for like 30 seconds. It's a long time. Judge didn't say no. Well, after they got these phone records, there's only 2 days left of the trial at that point. Suddenly, he's starting to be a judge. No, they have not answered that complete question. You go ahead, follow up, overruled. I had not heard him once say overruled till yesterday. I listened to closing arguments, not her side. I listened to the plaintiff's closing, sir, and it was something. He had everything that they did that was wrong covered by this statute for this amount of problem, prison, whatever. And he had a lot. And I saw the judge was suddenly taking notes, and I was like, somebody got to you too and said you can go ahead, you can ruin your career. You keep being biased to her. And we will be out here again, and you will be recused from the bar because of the problems you had. So you need to go back to being a judge, apparently, or we're going to show them the proof that you should have recused yourself. So I did see a different judge last couple days, but the other judge was back when it was over. Old Fanny comes marching in there in red. I don't know who was going to tell her, but the woman is fat. I know fat. But I'm not trying to be the Delta Queen. And she always has that. She's a Karen. It's like pirate. Yeah. Karen, same thing. She pretty much controlled the trial herself. As for what she said what she wanted, no matter how long it was, and are intentionally vicious against the attorney. Which the attorneys wanted to treat her as a hostile witness. That was overruled. She was a hostile witness. I mean, but it's going to take 2 weeks, and then he will bring his verdict. I'm like, he already knows it's going to be 2 weeks. Isn't that grand? Now, whose idea was this to put this in front of a judge and make him God? Why didn't they put this in a jury where there were 12 souls that would see right through all this crap? Well, they didn't do a jury because they knew for credit, they knew they were going to go down if it was a jury, and then they could have been thrown in jail. This judge, she'll probably be removed from her office. I suppose the other one again would be removed from this case as well as her. They'll end up keeping their law licenses, and they shouldn't. I think that all three of them, the judge included, who did not recuse himself when he should have, then he finds out he's actually popped for it, and he still doesn't recuse himself. The powers that be are over him. There's somebody he has to call boss. I could tell you, but I got the time. But yeah, he should have been taken off. When he saw what they found, he should have recused himself then. Now, I don't know, maybe it would have interfered and they so close to the end of the trial, it might have stopped the trial or mistrial. So that could be why. And he did play judge. I'll give him that last couple of days. The 2 week thing I don't get. But he's got to take 2 weeks, I guess, to sift through everything because there's tons that don't make any sense. This Terrence guy, he's on these texts talking about when they got together and how long they've been together. And so they asked him again just yesterday before the closing arguments, did he want to clear up and clarify how long their relationship had been, Danny and this other guy, or I'm sorry, Fanny. And I can't think of his name. In any event, how long they had been together. And he's like, well, I don't remember. Well, why did you say that? Well, I was speculating. Well, why would you speculate? Well, I don't know. I didn't know for real which ones I saw. I just speculated. And this man speculated like he was a prospector and it was the gold rush in Alaska. It was just, your head rocks back and you're going, he said, what? I know what, I do know. I've had a judge recused from the bench. It's a long story. And it didn't take me long to make sure he was recused. He went ahead and took an early retirement. So if these attorneys were worth their spit, they could have done the same thing. Now that they haven't, I don't understand why. If a civilian without a law degree could do so. In Georgia, Fulton County. Yeah, we know it's Atlanta. Get over it. Atlanta is corrupt. Chicago is corrupt. I don't know what else people see. And granted, our news is just political news. But with today's things and inventions and like this, you can see the truth 24/7, 365, anywhere on the planet. Anywhere. Come and see me, guys. Come hit the like button. Tickle the bell. It's a subscription. You'll know if I change things. If you have any ideas, don't feel you're not going to hurt my feelings. Just throw the truth off in there. Share if you like it. I would appreciate that. It makes the algorithms go up. I can't tell you guys how excited I've been to do this, but I also have to tell the truth, and that's my married family or husband's family, I should say. Everybody. Don't think I'm doing a good job or should not be doing it. Again, I have thick skin, but even now I'm beginning to wonder. I mean, my algorithms go up a little bit, but then they'll plummet down, and I can't seem to find where it's going to plateau. And yes, I still need 1,000. I had 300 something, I think, the last time I checked, but yesterday I didn't have trouble finding it. I mean, it came up, but I ended up doing something else and it just went ahead and turned it off. So I know it loaded it fine on YouTube. I did not check to see if it had been pasted to Facebook. I was doing that, but I didn't see where people, and I did that because Facebook timers, will do it whenever. says open, 24/7 if they want to. And if they do look on Facebook, so I was saying, okay, let's just put this on Facebook and they'll find me. Not so much. Not so much. I'm not going to give up. And I think everybody would like me to. I'm not going to do that. I know you guys are out there. I know you guys are going to find me. I'm not sure where or how or when, but y'all go find me. And when you do, please, please, please hit that like button. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think is wrong. Tell me what you would rather see. Tell me whatever and anything and everything that you would like to talk about. This is Social Woodstock. We don't have to go to Woodstock. We are Woodstock. So let's just come out here and be the hippies we once was and say, love and peace. And talk about what's going on the planet. Talk about Ukraine. Talk about Israel. Talk about Gaza. Talk about the southern border. Leave politics completely out, and we'll talk about the spookies, as I call them. There's a lot more than ghosts running around, and there's got to be a reason that this stuff has increased exponentially. Not to mention the birth pangs that Jesus spoke of when Revelation was coming. Well, yeah, you got to go. Yeah, that one came through. Check. Yep, that was yesterday. Check. So, I mean, anything and everything means just that. It could be religion, it could be ET, it could be politics, it could be the fact that there is no news, it's only politics. But pop in and see me. Throw in a chat, share for God's sakes, hit the like. I need subscriptions. So if you tick a little bell, it would really help out a lot. It takes like 20 seconds to take it off if you don't like it. And I have a little timer up here, so I know when I have to go. And that helps me a lot because I have, as my adopted father said, the gift of gab. He was right. So my teacher said the same thing. I believe that's how I picked up the nickname Wicked in boot camp. Besides the fact that an airborne ranger who was a veteran of Vietnam said, "We don't like you, but just so you know, we jumped out of airplanes and killed people." I've done 3 days. So I fell out laughing. I mean, tears running down my face. I'm laughing so hard I can't stop. My sides hurt. And when I finally did, he asked who I was and whatever. He's got the chart there, and I told him. He says, "You don't have no records. You're from Chicago. You can't have a record. Look here, Wicked." And it just stuck. I also became his secretary because nobody else knew how to type or basically answer a phone. You typed, you answered a phone. It was a rocket science. I never slept the whole time in boot camp. I couldn't sleep. And then they settled me. When I went to Fort Sam Houston, I used to train the nurses on their 2-week course. And there was only one rule: don't come to us and we'd line the trails as they're going through, just watching them. We might be on a hillock here. They were scattered about. And don't stop and ask one of the instructors where you are on that map. Just keep going and retrace your steps. Whatever you got to do, don't talk to the observers. Now, we said that because we just had so much fun letting the Air Force catch. And they were so silly. They always came up to us instructors to say, "Am I here on the map?" And we go, "No, go left. There's a fork just up ahead. Go left." So they got captured by the Air Force. There's some fun stuff I had in the military. I think that was one of the more funny ones. Yeah, Private Benjamin is a good one for me. The nickname Wicked has stayed with me my entire life. Mind you, I was not even 18, I don't believe, at that time. And it just stuck throughout my life. My son even set up my email, which is Wicked. I'm 5'2". I used to have hazel. Now I have bright green eyes because I had the lenses redone. Don't ask me. Red hair. Way too old. So, I passed 25 like it wasn't even there. Yeah, 28's rough. That's the other thing I should point out. We women are not told the truth about these cameras. They say, "Oh, the camera ends 10 pounds." No, it does not. It ends 40. You don't look wrinkled until you get a camera. So at the end of, at least on light note, I'm going to pop out of here and zip up to the grocery store. So I need to get to stepping. Try to have a good Sunday out there, everybody. If you see this later, please like, please share. I can't do it without you guys. I'm going to keep this channel. If you have any advice or any suggestions, I look forward to them immensely and with bated breath at this point. Toodles. Oh.